Alrighty. Hey everybody. Come along.
You're gonna run around again.
We're gonna run around today. Today is a special day. I'm supposed to meet the American ambassador to the Philippines. Me and the old dog Paul McGill and a few others. So,
Oh, there's more?
yeah, there's about 5 or 6. I'm not sure if they're from Dumaguete or where they're from. Hey everybody, thanks for coming by. Appreciate it. My name's Bud Brown, and this is my channel about living in the Philippines. And if you've followed me for a while, or if you've been here a while, you know who's sitting next to me.
This is Paul.
My buddy Paul McGill. And of course, he's got a channel of the old dog, New Tricks. So something happened that we experienced that was fantastic. One of the greatest experiences since I've been here. I've been here 12 years or so. And if you followed my channel, you know that I was here and then I left. I had a 2-year hiatus and I just got back and man, hit the deck a running.
Yes, you did.
Yes, I did.
Boy.
So I want to. Paul started it. Paul started it. That's a good way to say it. He always started. Mom, Dad, he started it. Oh my. So what happened was we had this fantastic experience, but I want to start at the beginning. And I received a message from Paul about it, but I want to get behind. That wasn't the exact beginning. So the exact beginning was tell everybody exactly how you got the message and why you got the message.
All right. Well, for last couple of years, I've worked, or volunteered, I should say, as a liaison for the United States Embassy. And what that means, or what that entails, is should an American citizen find themselves in some type of quandary over here, medical, maybe they've passed away, perhaps they've gotten destitute and they need a way back to America, or they're having an issue with their Social Security check, things like that. They'll reach out to me. There's 4 other liaisons out here. You met them at the little deal we're going to talk about here. And so I think there's a total of 5, I believe. And they had contacted me a few years ago, and Mark Thornton, God rest his soul, simply because we have YouTube channels. And they felt that would be a good medium to reach out to people and make announcements. So I do have to do one commercial. I do want to encourage everybody to go to the United States Embassy's website and register yourself with the embassy. Your name, your address, your phone number, your email, and then contact numbers or email addresses of loved ones either here or back in the home country should something befall you that you have no control over. And example, a stroke. And you're in the hospital, okay? They can contact, they have that information already. And it's already, they don't have to go hunting for it. And they can contact your brother or your best friend or whatever it might be, and to try to help you through this troubled time that you're experiencing here in the Philippines. Okay, so that being said.
One more little thing, I'm sorry, I want to interject. I had heard, and you can confirm this or not, that the life insurance companies in the United States do not accept a Filipino death certificate. So if you have a Filipino death certificate, you take it to the American, or you send it to the American embassy, and they will make sure that's legit and issue a American death certificate, which is accepted by life insurance companies. That's
I'm not familiar with how life insurance companies work. To be honest with you, I don't know. I know that once a death certificate is issued here, it is immediately sent off to Social Security, and they'll stop that. And it's also sent off to your bank, and your bank will most likely freeze your account for maybe 30 days or so.
Oh.
And so another little point that I've recently done is contacted my bank personally and told them who, which is my wife,
Yeah.
should be added on, has access to, and has
Yeah.
the ability to unfreeze it. And it's
Okay.
frozen for my protection.
Sure.
So in case, some
Right.
Housekeeper gets into
Right.
my computer and starts
Right.
transferring funds, it's to prevent that from happening. But if people have the proper passwords and IDs and notifications, then they can now access those funds.
Yeah.
And that's just another little caveat there.
Yeah, good.
But back to your story,
Yeah.
what happened was, I guess it was a week ago. What's it been? 3, 4, 5 days, something
Yeah,
like that. Received a message from the embassy that the ambassador for the United States to the Philippines she's stationed in Manila, and she's coming to Dumaguete.
Yeah.
And she wanted to have a lunch for all the liaisons, and we were allowed to invite one American guest. And so, look who got invited. And so you can take it from there, buddy. What did we do? I mean, and so I invited you.
Yeah.
We had to give some background information on you.
Yeah.
And we actually put in our order as to
Yeah.
what we wanted to eat.
Yeah.
I mean, they had it dialed in.
Yeah.
They're organized.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
there was, they have those people like that at those positions, they have a finite amount of time.
Right.
And they can come in.
Time to waste.
And they get in and they do business and they get it done, and then they've got to move on because they got to go meet the mayor or the governor. Or
Right.
they've got other activities that
Right.
they need to do,
Yes.
other appearances, speech, whatever
Yeah.
that they have to do.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
what was your impression of the ambassador?
Well, first, I would say, okay, what do you call somebody, Mr. President, or
Right.
that kind of
Right,
address?
right.
I looked it up,
Right.
and Madam Ambassador.
Right.
So
right.
I practiced saying that, although I never had an opportunity to use it.
Right, me
So-
either. In fact, she stood up when I got there. She goes, "Hi, I'm Mary," and I go, "Hi, Mary."
Really? Oh,
I'm Paul.
yeah. Well, Paul had sent me they sent him the address that we're going to, this cafe.
Cafe Maria. We can
Cafe.
say it now.
Yeah.
At the time, it was sensitive but not classified. But they had quite the entourage of
Yeah.
police, military,
Yeah.
armored cars,
Oh, man.
all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
There was, you knew that somebody important was in
Yes,
town.
yeah.
Probably all of Dumaguete did if they went through.
If they saw the
you know.
cavalry go by.
Yeah. So I went there, of course, to check it out first, make sure I could find it, and it wasn't that easy to find. Which
No.
it kind of makes sense that they're going to.
They
Find a place
found a
and
good
stuff,
place
so-
that was tucked away. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I know it. So, Paul and I, we took separate cars, of course, and I got there, and the two people at the door, and I thought they were, had a list and, check off like this is an invitation, which it was invitation only, but a party of some kind, and your name and your ID.
Right.
That's what I was expecting.
Right.
But I said, is this where we're going to eat? Are we going to meet? They said, yeah. I said, do you need to have an ID? No, just go on in. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. It was
So-
pretty loosey-goosey.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
So we went in, and there was a table. What would you say, 12, 15 people maybe
I would say
there?
about 15 people.
Yeah, about 15 people. The ambassador, because I looked her up on, Wikipedia to see what she looked like. And she was sitting there, and there was a space right next to her.
Uh-huh.
And of course, I'm looking around, and while the other chairs were occupied.
Right.
And so I said, well, I'll just sit right next to her. So, or I could say she could sit next to me.
Sure.
And
I sat across from you.
right. So Paul came in, and he, sat right across. And as you probably know, if you've been in groups, there goes a jet. It's hard to really communicate with everyone in the table.
Right.
So mostly the person next to you or across the table is where you get most of your, talk. So I was hoping to talk with her more, but she was kind of talking to the people on the other side. Matter of fact, she said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I have my back to you." That's fine.
Right,
So
right.
she was telling about her life, and I had also did a little investigating on where she had been.
Sure.
And I saw that before here, she was in Argentina.
Uh-huh.
So naturally, I'm curious if she speaks Spanish.
Uh-huh.
So I was going to tell her in Spanish, hey, let's ditch these guys and we'll go out and, you know.
Smoke a cigar.
Yeah. But I did have to throw in, I said, I'm very curious about, I know you've been in different countries, about your language learning. Did you go to, and I had to throw in that I went to a place called Defense Language Institute, DLI, in Monterey, and they're supposed to be noted for teaching foreign service officers languages. So I said, did you go? No, she said, I went to, I believe she said it was in Washington, D.C. They had another school there. Oh, okay. So then you can maybe fill in more a little bit about the policies that she was talking about.
Oh, yeah. She, of course, was very, very diplomatic and never once would reveal either a preference for one side or another. And when I say that, I'm talking about administrations or countries or leaders or anything else. She was very, very great at her job. And what I took away from her was, I asked her two questions.
Yeah.
I asked her, what do you feel the relationship with the Philippines is right now? And how do you foresee the future relationship between America and the Philippines? And both responses were very positive.
Yeah.
And then she went into some finite details about different levels that you and I can't remember.
Right.
Because this woman is, she's like her hard drive is working at 100%. And she can talk on any topic in any country and remember names, methods, and whatnot. But what I took away, I don't want to steal your thunder here.
No, I want you to
say it. But what she said, that she had been on she'd been to Argentina, India,
China,
two tours in China. She explained how strict everything was in China. People following you, how there was restrictions, and it was, the language was impossible for them, and all of that. And then she gave the greatest compliment that there was to give, and she said, this is possibly her last post. I'm not sure.
She's retiring this summer.
So this is her swan song. And she said it could not have ended better. But by far, and you could tell she was sincere, she adored her 3 years here in the Philippines.
She loves it here.
And and without prompting, she said, number one, the people, and number two, English. And so you get to thinking about it. You're a diplomat. You're going to Russia, China, Argentina. You don't speak the language, and how convoluted things can get, and complicated. But out here, she just adored it. And she was complaining that she was gaining weight because the food was so delicious. You know?
I know.
But she said she feels really sorry for the guy that this is his first assignment.
That's right. That's what she said.
And then they ship him off to the Middle East somewhere.
Place to go,
like, oh boy.
Downhill after here.
After this is the cherry on top of her Sunday.
Exactly.
And again, I just can't speak highly enough of her staff, the camaraderie that she allowed. There were a lot of guys asking a lot of questions about the ability to bring Filipinas to America, the difficulties getting over across the border, and she answered it without really answering it. And because, again, diplomacy, you know. So,
by the way, Mary Kay Carlson.
Mary Kay Carlson, that's right.
Ambassador Carlson.
Right. And you can look her up on Wikipedia, read up about her. Very interesting woman, sharp. I can see where she's been 30 years. She's been with the State Department. And I was sitting with one of her staffers. Again, just a super pleasant woman. And
her husband was in the Foreign Service. I'm not sure if he was an ambassador or what, but he was.
You know,
in
I
the
got
Foreign
almost
Service.
zero information from him other than he
Yeah.
liked to play golf.
Yeah,
So
yeah, a lot
I
of golfers.
took away, but there was so much conversation going on
Yeah.
around the table.
Yeah,
And
yeah. Oh, he was very congenial. Matter of fact, I was
he was
surprised.
super
He came
nice.
up to me and
Yeah,
said,
me too.
He did? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I thought it was just me. But
yeah, well,
darn.
you want to talk about those microphones some more?
Mister. Cut that out. Oh, Lordy. Oh, we had a great time. We both had, chef salad, I think.
We had a chef salad,
That
yes.
was- that
Yep,
was Mel.
yep. And
Yeah.
the menu was primarily Filipino dishes.
Yeah, it was.
And so, because they sent me the menu,
Yeah, yeah.
and I forwarded to Bud
Yeah.
on the email, and the only thing I understood was a chef salad. So I think it's the same thing for you.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know,
It
but
was
the other
good.
stuff I didn't even recognize.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
again, this is like the mystery restaurant where it's
Yeah.
really nice inside. It's I wouldn't say it's elegant, but it's
It's kind of like
but
it
it's-
had that Harry Potter
Yeah,
look, you know?
yeah.
The old.
Yeah, it was just very unique, super secure, very, very parked away. I can see why they chose it
Yeah.
for security purposes.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
there was one way in, and that was it.
That's
So
right.
you got to think about those kind of things.
Uh-huh.
Back
Yeah.
in the day, a couple, 3 years ago, however long it's been, when I first met, I use his first name, Chris, from the embassy. We met at Tom Tom's, and it was really funny because we had two military guys with machine guns standing behind us for 2 hours. You know,
Who are they coming in here for? Straight to.
it took me by surprise, I'll tell you that much.
There he is.
I had no idea that was going to happen.
Oh, man.
That was an interesting time, and I've enjoyed working with them. And it's really been gratifying because, you know, if someone reaches out and they have a problem, if they cooperate, then it's really easy to, not necessarily easy, but it's easier to try to rectify whatever situation they
Yeah.
might be in. And there's not 100% success. Some things work, some things don't.
Well, maybe another video, even for your own video, you could say what things they can do, what things they
Yeah.
can't do.
Yes.
But, you know, that's
Yeah.
kind of a different topic, but still, it's
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
interesting, and it would maybe be interesting to the.
And I got to push again, just go to UnitedStatesEmbassy.com, go in there, put in your name, your address, your phone number, contact information
Yeah.
for yourself, relatives, friends. Make your life simpler should the unthinkable happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think that probably wraps it up.
Yeah, we got to have lunch with the United
Yeah.
States ambassador to the Philippines.
So
And
I'm gonna send a
thrilling,
picture.
thrilling time, a great lady,
Yeah.
great staff, and just a good time was had by all.
yeah, it was. Oh, that's probably. I'll cut this out if I need to.
No, you don't need your carpets cleaned.
Hello, honey. You're on speaker. Let's warn you right there.
Yeah, put her up to the camera.
We're right in the middle of a video, my dear.
Are you gonna, what time do you want to go?
Before too long.
I'm gonna get this for you.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm here to have your money.
All right. All right.
That's hi.
Tell Paul hi. All right.
Bye, Gloria.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, Gloria.
Bye. Bye.
Oh. Now, honey, I told you, don't you ever be calling me on this phone again. I'm wear the pants in this family, okay? Women, what can you do, man?
I'll tell you.
Anyway, that would be B-roll some other time.
Yeah.
But anyway, so thanks everybody for stopping by, and I appreciate you coming to my channel. And don't forget to go to the Old Dogs channel.
Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to Bud Brown.
Yeah, but before, we're buds and we wish the best for each other. So,
Absolutely.
And we wish the best for you too, because we were talking earlier, the Philippines here in Dumaguete is not necessarily for everybody, but it's for a certain type of person that, that'll fit in here. And we understand if this is not your cup of tea, that's fine too.
Sure.
But we wish you all the best.
Absolutely.
Come back and see us again sometime.